Williams leads surging in the race for the White House. Donald Trump right behind him, as President Obama has something to say about the GOP candidates.
They can't handle a bunch of CNBC moderators.
For the first time, Donald Trump is here live in Times Square this morning for a no-holds-barred live one-on-one only on GMA.
The first major winter storm of the season hammers the West, up to a foot of snow in the mountains. Powerful wind gusts kicking up dust triggered this pileup. Mudslides knock cars off the road, and the storm is moving east right now.
Breaking overnight, a group of passengers kicked off a Spirit Airlines flight by police after a flight attendant says one of them was unruly. Why they say it was race and not their behavior that got them in trouble.
And Robin Williams' widow speaks out for the first time since his death.
When did you first notice that something wasn't quite right?
What she's revealing about his secret battle with a debilitating brain disorder and their final conversation. The ABC News exclusive breaks here this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And we do say Good Morning America, a very busy Tuesday morning, and you're going to see Republican presidential hopeful Donald Trump arriving in style here at our studio in Times Square. He is here live for the first time as a candidate.
Got a brand new book out this morning called Crippled America. We're going to get just campaign news out there. We're going to get on that right now. President Obama talking about ABC's Tom. Good morning, Tom.
Right to the big headline this morning, surging 7 points. This poll was conducted by the same Jeb Bush. But the other big headline, voters were asked their first choice. Donald Trump, outsiders, voters, an outsider more from Washington. So many people paying attention to this race, even President Obama.
Noticed that every one of these candidates say, Obama's weak. He's people. Putin's kicking sand in his face. When I talk to Putin, he's going to straighten out. Just looking at him, I'm going to be. And then it turns out they can't handle a bunch of CNBC moderators.
President Obama now in the campaign trail, but obviously having some fun. I do want to point out about this poll. This poll was conducted before the debate, only 1 day after the debate. So much happened in that debate. It's unclear how that will change. Back to you.
Okay, Tom, thanks. Donald Trump is here right now. His new book, Crippled America, How to Make America Great Again, is out today. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Got to start out, respond to President Obama there.
Well, I personally don't care too much in terms of the debate. They've been hitting me one way or another, and I guess I've been doing very well in the debates based on everything and based on polling. But I just want to have a debate. I like the debates. They can ask tough questions. I really don't care.
What demands are you going to make? You said you are going to.
Well, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be 3 hours. That's one thing, and that was always my demand. And I'd like money. Frankly, the networks are making a fortune. You're going to love to hear this, but the networks are making a fortune with the debates. I'd like to see the wounded warriors and the veterans some of the profits, because I mean, we're going in, we get nothing, and that's fine, but they're getting tremendous rate, 24.
Anything else out on the stump? You've talked about having only Republican moderators.
I'm not. Look, I just want to answer the questions and be done with it. And frankly, doing well. As far as President Obama saying what he said, he can't handle the country. I mean, he's doing a terrible job. So he may say the Republicans don't get along on a debate, and it's not us. I mean, we're being asked very good questions, many of them directed at me, to be honest with you. But he's having a hard time. Not a hard time. He cannot handle the country. He is doing a terrible, terrible job.
How do you handle Ben Carson's second national poll out this morning showing him in the lead? You're still ahead in places like New Hampshire, but how do you explain his surge?
Well, I'm now ahead in Iowa as of this morning, and that poll was not done after the debate. I think after the debate you'll see something different. But look, I've been in the lead or close to the lead from the beginning. It's going to be probably maybe tight, and I like Ben. I like a lot of the other candidates too. Some I don't like, to be honest with you.
How do you stop Ben?
I think that Ben just doesn't have the experience. Say, look, you know, I'm going to make the greatest deals you've ever seen on trade. We're going to run the military properly. I'm going to take care of the vets. Ben can't do those things. Ben cannot deal on trade. Ben cannot deal with. It's not his thing, George. You know, you're born with it. It's not his thing. He hasn't got the temperament for it. It's not the right thing for him. And there are right things for him. But when you see China, these are fierce people in terms of negotiation. They want to take your throat out. They want to cut you apart. These are tough people. I've dealt with them all my life.
In your book, you call China an enemy. Why is it okay to do business with an enemy?
Because it's an economic enemy, because they've taken advantage of us like nobody in history. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world, what they've done to the United States. They've taken our jobs,
from us,
George.
why is it okay to do business with them?
Well, we can do, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to end up making money from them. We're losing in terms of balance of payments, in terms of anything you want to do with trade. We're losing almost $400 billion a year with China. Nobody can turn that. You look at corporate inversions where companies are leaving the United States, taking employees. I'm the only one that can do that. You know, the other candidates I was talking to, they don't even know what corporate inversion is.
You know, you say that Hillary Clinton doesn't want to run against you, but here's what she's saying on the stump.
I have to say, if he emerges, I would love to debate him.
Now, that's a general election debate that's going to be a lot of fun.
Is she bluffing?
She's bluffing. Yeah, she's bluffing. Look, I know her well. She's done a terrible job as you know, Secretary of State. The world blew up around her, and then she's got all of the other problems. I think Bernie Sanders is gone now because he gave up a very important thing with emails. When he did that, I said, when it happened, I said, that's a great soundbite. You know, if you hear people clapping in the audience a little bit, I said, he just bought 2 minutes, but he gave up his
So
campaign.
she's the nominee, are you?
In my opinion, she is the nominee unless she gets indicted.
How about you?
I think I will be the nominee. Yeah, I do think so. I mean, every poll, look, one just came out, as you saw, in Iowa. I'm leading. PPP just came out a little while ago, a couple of minutes ago. New Hampshire, I'm leading big. Florida, I'm leading big. South Carolina, I'm leading big. I don't know. I mean, who knows am I going to be, but I think I'm going to be.
A lot of Democrats I talk to think Marco Rubio is the toughest nominee for the Republicans. Why are they wrong?
I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm not a fan. And you know what? I'm doing this.
You said he's overrated.
I think he's overrated. And I've also said he's a lightweight. I think he's a lightweight. You know, I think Putin would eat him alive. I think he's a totally overrated guy. I think Bush, his message was horrible the way he delivered it. But Bush had a much better message because here's a guy who doesn't even show up to vote. He's done, I mean, the way Bush delivers a message, it's so sad. But he had the message to deliver. If I'm talking about him not showing up to vote, if I'm saying that he's weak on immigration, you know, he's very weak on, he was a member of the Gang of Eight. That's the Gang of Eight. You know what they were? That was Schumer and a whole group of people. Everyone come into the country. Please come in, take over our country. All of a sudden, his poll numbers went down. He got out of the Gang of Eight. He's very weak. This new gentleman that's backing him, Singer, you got to look at that record,
Singer.
okay? You take a look at that record. You take a look at what he stands for. I think Rubio's, personally, I think he's an overrated guy. I don't think he's going to be
Jeb Bush resetting his campaign yesterday, going after you.
The solution won't be found in someone who has never demonstrated the capacity to implement conservative ideas. And you can't just tell Congress, you're fired, and go to commercial break.
Look, Jeb is a nice guy. He's a stiff, okay? He's a nice guy. He doesn't have a chance, all right? He ought to do what Walker did. Walker
you think he should drop out?
Oh, absolutely. He's no chance. He's got money, but the money's not going to do it. And he's been branded as a low-energy person. I don't know who branded him. I don't know. I can't imagine. But look, Jeb is not a man that's going to make it, okay? He's wasting his time. He's wasting a lot of money. I say Rubio is highly overrated. I think there are some people that actually do have talent in the group. And the reason I talk this way is because I'm a non-politician. When this is over, if I win, great. I'm going to make the country great again. If I lose, fine. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to deal with these people. That's going to be it. I go into the Sunset, and I go to Turnberry, I go to Doral, and I build buildings, okay?
We're going to talk a lot more about your personal life in the next half hour.
Fine.
Stand by. Let's go to Robin.
All right there, George. We turn now to the search for answers in that mysterious plane crash. An analysis of the black boxes from the jet that broke apart in flight is underway right now. And ABC's Alex Marquardt joins us from Egypt with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Robin. Egypt's President Sisi is now pushing back against allegations that this plane came down due to terrorism. He's calling it propaganda that is aimed at harming Egypt's reputation. Now, the answers to this mystery will only come once those black boxes have been fully analyzed. They are here in Cairo being worked on by teams from Egypt, Russia, and Airbus. Meanwhile, the Pentagon says that a U.S. satellite equipped with infrared sensors picked up what they call flashes around the time that the plane was flying over the Sinai. The U.S. has not yet ruled out terrorism, but a spokesman for Russian President Vladimir Putin said today that so far there isn't the slightest evidence of a terrorist act. Robin?
We're going to talk more about that. All right, Alex, thank you. We're going to bring in ABC News aviation consultant Steve Ganyard. So, Steve, there's three theories that are out there about what brought down this plane. What's your take on all that?
Robert, I think we've been able to discount the idea that a surface-to-air missile brought this airplane down. We still need to think about a bomb on board the airplane, but I think investigators are also going to look at structural failure. About 14 years ago, this airplane had a very hard landing in Cairo that hit the tail so badly it had to be repaired. And they may want to go back and look at that repair and see if it may have been a cause of this catastrophe.
Yesterday, you were talking about the wreckage pattern being very important, but the black box is also being analyzed as we speak. What clues could they provide?
Well, the cockpit voice recorder is actually just, these are microphones in the cockpit. So if there was a bomb that went off, that bomb will be very clearly heard. If the airplane came apart, even the whooshing sound of the air will be apparent on the voice recorder. So the investigators will get something out of that cockpit voice recorder that'll tell us what happened in those last seconds.
And hopefully we'll learn something soon. Still a mystery. All right, Steve, thank you.
Okay, Robin, thanks. We return to a very different story about air travel this morning. Passengers kicked off a plane overnight. The flight attendant says they were being unruly. They claim it's because they're black. ABC's David Curley is at LAX this morning. Good morning, David.
Morning, George. Police are telling this started over an overbooking of a couple of seats. It escalated to 7 people taken off the plane. They say it was discrimination. This cell phone video captures the tension escalating aboard the Spirit Airlines jet as passengers are boarding the flight from L.A. to Dallas.
We have witnesses this man wasn't causing any kind of problem. We had the flight attendants being rude.
Police say they were called by Spirit Airlines. An argument broke out over a double-booked seat.
Let's get up and move. He got up. He got up and move. The flight said something smart out of his mouth. I said, I'm not talking to you. Don't talk to me. He said that. He said, well, sir, you need to get off this flight.
Police and his traveling companion, both black, off the plane. According to police, 5 other black passengers began to cause a disturbance. Those passengers maintained the flight attendant accused a member of the group of threat. Airport police forcing that group to leave the plane as well.
I'm really the fact that you hear about stuff happening in America, discrimination issues and stuff, to actually experience it firsthand.
This if the two groups on the jet were traveling. Police are telling us that no arrests have been made, and there's one side of the story we have not heard, and that is Spirit Airlines. They have not released a statement. They incidents so far, Robin.
Perhaps they will soon. All right, David, thank you. Now to that first winter storm in the west, a foot of snow in some areas. More is on the way, Ginger?
Yeah, that mighty storm near Bakersfield, California, bringing visibility to 0. Now, unfortunately, I think that could happen. Wind advisories, winter storm warning in these states.
Everybody got hit hard.
Smashed on a California highway. Wind-whipped dust filling the skies near Bakersfield, triggering up.
How many?
15 vehicles involved in the wreck. It's all part of a significant storm swirling through the west right now, dropping hail from Napa to Concord, forcing mudslides. And the first snow of the season from the Sierra to at Stevens Pass in Washington State.
Some folks so happy to see some of that snow. It moved west or east, with that system, the wind, the mountain snows all down into New Mexico. So that's happening for us today, but it also comes along with a lot of wind. Some of these gusts could reach 46 miles per hour in Salt Lake. So extra care taken today.
Got to watch out for that. Thank you. Going to turn now to Amy with the top story, starting with a new scandal at the VA.
That's right. Overnight, the 2 managers of the Veterans Affairs Department have pleaded the 5th at a congressional hearing. Is looking into accusations that VA executives moved around jobs so they could keep their but have fewer responsibilities while charging taxpayers big moving expenses. Volkswagen is denying new accusations from the EPA that the automaker equipped more vehicles with software than first thought, including diesels. The company insists it is cooperating with investigators.